Something I've been waiting for a very long time, Project Rebalance Part 1, Skilling. Welcome to the first of several bumper blogs about Project Rebalance. In December last year, we announced Project Rebalance, a massive game jam project which will flesh out progression for both skills and gear throughout your old school adventure. Since this is such a huge project, you can look forward to several blogs on this topic, including all the details about NPC defense adjustments, gear changes, and more. We plan to release farther blogs in April to coincide with the hands-on betas. Today, though, we're looking at some smaller, simpler tweaks to skilling content. Agility, everyone's favorite skill in the game. Agility, love it or hate it, is one of the most impactful skills in Old School. It offers access to a huge variety of shortcuts across Gielinor, and more importantly, increases the speed at which your run energy regenerates. Despite this, it's not exactly a fun skill to train. Yeah, that's putting it pretty lightly. We think you can all relate to the feeling of dread as you level up and see how many laps there are to go until your next milestone. On top of that, some of these shortcuts aren't so useful after all. That's a really good point. I hardly ever use any of the shortcuts unless I have to get somewhere, but all those weird ones I never use. And that boost in run energy is a bit too subtle for most players to see the benefits. Our changes to agility are simple. We're tweaking the numbers to better position different activities and unlocks while identifying prime candidates for shortcuts that make training the skill worthwhile. We don't plan to significantly adjust the skill's progression or the speed at which you gain levels. Got all that? Then let's get going. Okay, so it sounds to me like they just want to make it better, a little more quality of life. We'll see what happens with this. Ooh, we got some numbers. So agility courses are your primary training method from 1 to 99. Unfortunately, it's not common to unlock a new course. Check the wiki and see that it's not really worth your time. That is very true. There's so many different agility courses in the game, but the meta for Old School anyways is to do rooftop agility, and then you unlock the sepulcher or whatever it is. So these changes are not about making agility courses relevant, again, giving you a nice change of scenery, or about making these courses relevant, again, giving you a nice change of scenery and a real feeling of progression in the skill. Yeah, I always liked that with agility. When you did change the location, it definitely was a nice new feeling. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the numbers and kind of what they want to change. So on the left side here, it is the level required, then the course, and then we've got the approximate current experience per hour, and then the approximate proposed XP. Let's see if there's any huge increases. It doesn't look like too crazy at the start. Even a little bit better would obviously help. Agility is one of the slower skills in the game. So let's see, not too much of a change. Let's keep going down the list here. Falador Rooftop, 27 to 35. That's a pretty decent increase there. But like they said, it's not going to be game breaking or whatever. It's just going to make the skill a little less annoying to do. And let's see the already, so 62k to 70. That's pretty good. That's a nice increase right there. Obviously, this isn't game breaking or anything like that. It's just going to make agility a little less painful, so I'm obviously all for that. So these changes will smooth out XP rates between courses, giving rooftop courses steadier progression, and reward those who kept up with your achievement diaries with even better rates. Boosted diary rates also let us improve some of the high-level courses like the Polnavich and Relica, where we currently see players giving up on the grind. That's very interesting, right? Because that's level 70, level 80. I guess by then they're like, I don't want to train it, unless you're going for max, of course. So this is obviously a very good thing, and I do like the fact that they're kind of pushing and incentivizing achievement diaries to do will give you even more XP. That's always good. So agility shortcuts, warning, there's another list on the way. All right, so let's just see what they want to do. So we'll remove the achievement diary requirements for the following shortcuts. So there is a ton, some of them just being very annoying, like the lava maze, the Shiloh village stepping stone. You know, it's like, oh, I forgot I don't have the achievement diary done. So that's a good thing. And then they're also adjusting some of the shortcut level requirements, which is just very, very good. Because imagine like needing, say, level 83 for the Brimhaven dungeon stepping stones. Now it's going to be 56, right? Like 83 agility. No, I'm trying to kill red dragons. I don't have time to get 83 agility. Okay, so next we're going to talk about thieving. So have you ever slipped, fell in, and accidentally stolen from a hard-working knight of Arty? Ever done that thousands of times? Don't worry, this is a safe space. We all love a bit of crime around here. Our thieving changes are largely about rebalancing failure rates, XP drops, and stall respawn times. In turn, this should give players more options when deciding where to train this sneaky skill. So this is for pickpocketing and some of the changes. So reduced failure rate, yes, on all of them. And then current XP drop. Some of them change a little bit, which is nice, of course. Let's see how that would change the hourly rate. Let's see. So some of them, like, it's a pretty big increase. You know what I mean? So the current XP an hour, like for, say, Tazars, is 178k XP. And then the current XP with the Arty Diaries, 260, and then the proposed would be 313. Am I reading that right? Like, that seems a pretty massive increase. I guess with the failure rate being reduced, is it gonna be for like elves and the other ones too? That'd be really nice. But yeah, that's insane. 300k an hour. Outside of the early levels and the odd pet grind, stalls have too long a respawn time to be worth engaging with, even when targeting a specific resource. These changes aim to breathe new life into Gillinor's marketplaces and are aimed at more casual players. We bet the stall holders can't wait. So, and it looks like, you know, these are going to be increased too, which is very, very good. The thing that, like, pretty much what they were saying is stalls, you click it and then you have to wait for the item to come back into the shop, so it kind of made these irrelevant. Let's see, these aren't anything game breaking. It looks like spice stalls might be the best XP in the hour. Yeah, like look at this, man. Like look at the spice stall. So the current XP is 7,000 and it's gonna go up to 50k. All of them seem to be a pretty big jump, especially like crafting stalls, like 5k all the way to 13. That's gonna be great for the low levels. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this. So our intention here isn't for stalls to surpass pickpocketing in terms of XP per hour, but to provide attractive alternatives for low intensity skillers and those hoping to stock up on particular resources. We'd really like to hear your feedback on these numbers. How rewarding would you like your criminal activity to be? I love what they want to do with thieving. Now, everybody's favorite skill for real, Slayer. Slayer is old school classic, but newer players are often confused by its popularity. True, I was like this for years until I made an Ironman. After all, the early levels can be a real grind. Beginning Slayer relies on lots of out-of-game research. The tasks you encounter are sluggish and slow, and unless you've been boosting your points somehow, you don't have the surplus available to skip the less exciting assignments you receive. Very, very true. Our proposal aim to improve the early game Slayer experience by removing the more like the shitty Slayer task, basically what they want to say. So let's just take a look at the ones that they want to remove. So the Slayer task list changes. The following Slayer tasks are being removed from these Slayer Masters task list. So completely removed. Interesting. So if you look like Vanica, for example, right, that's where a lot of people start. I think you need what, like 40 combat or something. So they're getting rid of rock slugs, earth warriors, like all the shitty tasks. Banshees were good, man, for Iron Man to get those pure essence, but like, come on, cave bugs, crawling hands, like who the fuck, killer watts, these were just awful. And the same with shelter, like infernal mages, wallabies, harpy bug swarms. Like, if you got these, you probably just went to train another skill if you didn't have the Slayer points to skip them back then. Like, imagine just being a low-level Iron Man and they're like, yep, kill some bronze dragons. Like, dude, no, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, mining is next. While 2023's changes to shooting stars have resulted in more mining levels than before, there are still a huge variety of training methods that players just aren't interested in. To set expectations, we're not overhauling mining in the style of RuneScape's mining and smithing rework. They're talking about RuneScape 3 here, but we are looking to bolster a few activities, make them more approachable, and help players experience all the skill has to offer. We're not ruling out a wider rework down the line. We know that the smithing progression is a particular point of interest, but for now we want to try maximizing what we've got rather than I can't say that word, Jesus. Anyways, from the core concept of the skill. Deviating, Jesus. Mining, minigames, and activities. So the Motherlode mine, lower floor veins to run on 23 to 27 second timers rather than having the chance to... Okay, so these are all just like really good quality of lives. You can take the time to read this if you want, but basically it's going to make the Motherlode mine minigame just much better, much just easier to get into, less annoying, maybe more AFK. This basically says it properly. So these changes make unlocks more impactful while making the activity more reliable, low intensity. Additionally, increasing XP rates at lower levels mean the activity is more worthwhile for newer players and less like a chore to tick off your valid or hard diary, right? They want players, man, to actually progress through the game. They want you to actually max an account. They want you to get to the end content. They spend so much time with the raids and like all the quests and stuff. They don't want you to do the Motherlode mine for 300 hours, right? They really want you to get to the fun content. So many changes to Volcanic Mine, Blast Mine, the Amethyst and Mining Guild. This one might be very interesting. Adjust Amethyst veins to run on a timer rather than whenever a single Amethyst mine. Beautiful, makes this so much more AFK. And then they're going to rebalance mining gloves in terms of both price and passive effect so that they're more desirable and have more utility across the skill. Awesome. I always wear mining gloves for some reason. Don't have to, I just usually do. And then gem mining, right? Unlock the gem mine with the Karamja medium diary instead of the hard one. Amazing. Like, come on, like you have to beat the hard diary to mine some level 50 gems or whatever you need to mine gems. Sandstone in the quarry and the granite quarry, add more visible spots per world to reduce competition if players are looking to engage in common tick manipulation methods. Awesome, great. Regular mining, improved clue geode rates across the board. I don't ever remember getting any of these, to be completely honest with you. Maybe I always just had a medium clue in the bank or something. Okay, so Zalcano gets a section all to herself, and the biggest change we're proposing today. Of course, they leave this right for the last thing. Right now, Zalcano is a potent moneymaker, but we see a lot of calls to make this high-intensity boss a more viable training method. Yeah, you get like no XP here, I believe. Our intent has always been to put profit over XP here, so we'd like to propose something new. We'd like to add a new currency to Zalcano's regular loot table, which players will be able to trade into an NPC. The unique loot table will not be affected. When handing over currency, you'll be able to choose whether you're paid back in XP or the same loot as you're getting currently. This neat solution lets players get more XP out of Zalcano if they want to, or keep it as consistent moneymaker that it currently is. The people at Jagex, man, are so smart. Like, they really do think of everything, because they realize if they just make a right to the change, there's going to be riots in Falador and people are going to be pissed off. So they really just made it the same, but also made it so you could get XP out of it. You're going to, instead of getting the loot, this loot, which you would have had before, you can trade it for XP, or you just get the loot. It makes sense. We will still be capping XP rates somewhere in the 50,000 XP an hour region to make sure there's still a good balance. We don't want Zalcano to become the one-stop mining shop. Interesting. So 50k is like pretty average for mining, maybe better than say Motherlode AFK, but still for how intense it is, that's pretty good. And you can also get some cool rewards and stuff, right? Lastly, we want to resolve scaling issues so that it's easier to jump into this activity without world hopping to find the perfect group size. This may mean making instances available, changing how Zalcano's scales or adjusting the way contribution works. Stay tuned. If they make this, I will probably get the crystal equipment or whatever the hell that you get from Zalcano, the add-on to the dragon pickaxe or whatever the hell it is. I wanted to decamp the boss, but it's just frustrating right now having to get the groups and whatever it is. So if they do this, I'll probably farm that boss. I do have the pet though. Lots of great changes. I think skilling for sure is something that's really been lacking in old school RuneScape for a very long time. Like when old school first came out, like you could do rune crafting, for example, and it would be some of the best ways to make money in the entire game. And now PVM has really taken over, which isn't a bad thing. I enjoy PVM quite a bit, and it is more fun and more engaging than the traditional skilling. But I really do miss the days when skilling made an absolute ton of money, and I really do enjoy skilling. I like that you can kind of just zone out, watch a movie, get into a rhythm, and then grind out a 99, you know? It's very different than PVM where you have to stay tuned and focused the whole time. I really do like skilling, so to finally see some good updates being pushed for skilling, I am a huge fan, and none of these are really game-breaking or game-changing. Yeah, a little bit more thieving XP, who cares? You know what I mean? A little bit more agility, whatever. It's like, it's just gonna make the game better at the end of the day, and it is not turning into RuneScape 3. I can already see the comments. RuneScape 3, like, Jesus. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video today. I will catch you in the next one. See ya later.